Hello students. So in the last class we studied Newton's second law of motion, and what does Newton's second law of motion say? That force applied on an object is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. Right? The rate of change of momentum. And what were the examples which we cited regarding the Newton's second law of motion? Those were that, for example, a person is running very fast and if he wants to stop suddenly, he cannot. Or if he wants to take a turn suddenly, he cannot. Okay, gradually he can take. Why? Because his momentum has increased a lot. Right? Secondly, for example, a ball is coming to a batsman, okay, and he wants to hit a boundary. Then what he has to do? He has to apply force. He has to apply force in a direction which changes its momentum in a very short interval of time. And if change in momentum, high change in momentum takes place in a very short interval of time, then the force applied is high. Right? So rate of change of momentum is rate of change of momentum. Momentum is denoted by letter P. So final momentum minus initial momentum will be called change in momentum. This can also be written as delta P by change in time is delta T. So we can write force is directly proportional to dP by dt. Delta we use for a big change and d we take for a small change. Okay, so force is directly proportional to dP by dt, or we can write force is equals to k times dP by dt. What is k over here? The proportionality sign. Okay, so this is Newton's second law of motion, that whenever change in momentum takes place in some time t, this is directly proportional to the force applied, or rate of change of momentum. Rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the external force applied. Okay. So today we have to do the derivation of the Newton's second law of motion. Let's see the derivation of this equation. Let us consider a body having mass m was moving with some velocity u. There is acceleration in the body and its velocity changes and it becomes v. So what is the initial velocity of the object? U. Final velocity is v. So can I write initial momentum is m into u and final momentum is m into v. Right? Let us say this change in velocity takes place over a time interval t. Okay? Obviously, some time will be required for a body to accelerate. Suddenly, you can't accelerate. So, this change in momentum takes place over a time interval t. Right? So, what will be change in momentum? Change in momentum will be equals to final momentum. Change in momentum will be final momentum minus initial momentum. What is final momentum? mv, the final momentum, minus initial momentum is mu. In how much time? Rate of change of momentum will be equals to, this is delta p by delta t. Rate of change of momentum will be mv minus mu by t. Okay. Now taking m common over here, can I write it as v minus u by t? m into v minus u by t is equals to delta p, or if it's a small change I can write dp by dt for you to not get confused, because in the books dp by dt is used. So we can write dp by dt is mv minus u by t. Do you remember what is v minus u by t? Final velocity minus initial velocity upon time, or rate of change of velocity. Do you remember? Rate of change of velocity v minus u by t is known as acceleration. The rate of change of velocity is acceleration. So I can write dp by dt is equals to m into v minus u by t is a, acceleration. So what is n into a? We've studied this. What is mass into acceleration? Right. Mass into acceleration is force. Nothing but force. That means if a body having mass m, if it is accelerated by an acceleration a, what will be the force required for this acceleration? It will be F. Or you can state it using the Newton's first law of motion, that a body cannot be accelerated on its own. To accelerate a body, to bring about a change in the velocity of a body, you need an external unbalanced force. So force is directly proportional to mass into acceleration, which is nothing but Newton's second law of motion. So you can write that force is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum, and rate of change of momentum is nothing but mass into acceleration, that is force. So these are the two forms of Newton's second law of motion, and this is the derivation. Let's do a quick recap. A body having mass m was moving with velocity u and its velocity changed to v. How will that velocity change? According to Newton's first law, to bring about a change in the velocity of a body, an external unbalanced force is required. So that we are proving over here. What is the rate of change of momentum? Final momentum minus initial momentum upon time. Final momentum is mv, initial momentum is mu. Final momentum minus initial momentum upon time, that is known as the rate of change of momentum. Taking m common, we write v minus u by t. What is v minus u by t? Acceleration. So dp by dt is mass into acceleration. And we know mass into acceleration is nothing but force of a body. So equating these two, mass into acceleration is force, dp by dt will also be equals to force. So force is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum. Okay? Do this derivation in your copy. This is an important derivation, children. Okay? And this will be required in Newton's third law of motion. Okay? And when we study the law of conservation of momentum as well. So keep studying. Happy learning.